welcome back to another episode of the Photographer Mindset Podcast. I'm Seth.
And I'm Aaron.
Today's episode is all about how to become the worst photographer possible.
The worst.
The worst. It's going to be an ironic, sarcastic, spicy episodes. We're going to break it into two parts. Part one is going to be from the business side, and part two is going to be from the artistic side. I wrote a bunch of things down today. We're going to say them. I'm going to try and deliver them as dry and sarcastically as I can. We're going to riff, and obviously you do the opposite of what we're saying to be a good photographer, in our humble opinion. What do you think?
I think that's a different idea. We haven't done something like this, and I like it because we're always looking for something new and fresh. So let's give it a go, see what happens.
All right. How to be the worst photographer ever from the business side of things. Okay. The first thing you're going to want to do, you want to make sure that you undercut everybody in this business, every other photographer. You just want to undercut them completely on your price. You want to make sure you charge $40, okay? Stop, you're breaking my character. Charge $40 for 20 videos, okay? And you're going to give them all the rights indefinitely for the remainder of time because, remember, you don't want to be paid fairly. You want to make sure it's a race to the bottom so that nobody gets paid well. And remember why you did this. You're in this to lose money.
Yeah. Don't forget that there are standards for supply and demand, and you want to just bring those standards way down as fast as you possibly can for the rest of us, and make sure you get the job at any cost, because that's the most important thing. Not setting up your potential future, not setting up a potential livelihood within your craft that you've chosen and working your way up to it. But you just want to bring the bar down so low that the rest of us quit because it's not a substantial wage, but you get all the jobs, yet still will need to work 2 or 3 other jobs to pay for rent, groceries, utilities, and you'll just be proud of what you've accomplished.
Yes, and we want to be just like gas stations where they see across the street, oh, $1.30. Okay, I'm talking liters. I'm sure $1.30 in the US would be incredible.
Mm-hmm.
Just a race to the bottom. But in all seriousness, we'll flip this coin before we move on to the next points. You do everybody a disservice, I feel like, when you undercharge, right? Talked about this before. If everybody was better at charging fairly, and I feel like this is part of our duty maybe here on the show at times, if everybody was charging more fairly, then I think photographers would not, their service wouldn't be seen as less valuable, is what often happens. We've talked about that before. And if you consider the community when you're pricing, you're doing everybody a proper service. And that's all I'll say on that.
Yeah, look at we all have to get in, and you can there's value in creating a portfolio, there's value in doing certain things, but again, don't sell the farm. Don't do a ton of stuff. Get enough to create a deal with a local business, a local restaurant, portrait photography, whatever it is. Do friends and family for a deal, but create a portfolio, and then have a realistic view of your talent level or the product that you're able to deliver, and then find out what the average is. And now with like Chat GPT and some AI services, you can really ask some specific questions like, what's the USA average for an hour of portrait photography, and get a good range that would be whatever makes you feel comfortable. But I think some of that is surprising sometimes, and we feel guilty charging that, but that's the business part of it.
Absolutely. All right. Next one that kind of ties into this. Make sure you get walked all over because you desperately need the money. And make sure you don't do this. Don't realize that the sea is endless and that another bus comes every 15 minutes. So just make sure you give away the farm and you do all these things because you need $400. There's no way that there's other people or clients or businesses out there that will pay you fairly. Nope.
Yeah, and don't adjust your deliverables to fit their budget. It's their budget. That's not their fault that that's their budget. That's our fault. So remember to
Cater
adjust.
to that, right?
Yeah, cater to it and still give them everything, and don't adjust. Take that.
Right.
Take the abuse.
That makes
Uh,
sense. If they're like, "Oh, we only do, exchanges for products," and you had quoted $5,000, make sure you're like, "Oh, okay, make sure you do your charity work," right?
yeah,
Yeah.
and beyond just even the pitch or the negotiables in the beginning, make sure that you do 17 rounds of edits, and give a black and white version, a sepia version, a colored version. Make sure you go back and then do different crops for every platform possible, because they can't crop a photo differently for different things. So make sure that you do that and take that extra time, and continue to just really take it and not adjust any price. So it's just your lowest price possible, and then do as much as you possibly can. Make sure.
Yes. Reduce yourself to serfdom.
Yeah.
Great. I'm loving this format already. Yeah, but be okay with saying no to things. Be okay with saying, "Hey, that add-on costs this much. This is why. Here's what's typical. Here's what I usually do." I feel like this tendency that we've just sarcastically described can be a big symptom of people who struggle with people pleasing. So if you're one of those people, this is an opportunity for you to. I think this is sort of low stakes. Set some boundaries, because usually it's via email or text, right?
Yeah. And we've talked about this. Be aware of the artist versus the businessman. It is we're looking for different things. We're looking for different validations, mainly. And when you combine the two, you become a photographer that is creating a business for themselves. You start to realize this quickly, that there's a lot of value in someone choosing you and wanting your work and liking your work.
Mm-hmm.
And we tend to really appreciate that and still want to please. We still want them to like our work. So we end up sacrificing on the financial aspect of jobs, because I think that first need comes first in our hierarchy of validation, more than money.
I see what you're saying. I was wondering where you're going though. So you're saying the dichotomy between being an artist and being a businessman?
Business. Yeah. So the business
Yeah,
on the other side of this table, when you're pitching, their job is bottom line. Their job is, I want to get the most for as little as possible. That's all business. Like, what's my overhead? What's my return on investment? The more they spend, the less they're going to get back in return. So they don't want to spend a lot,
sure.
but it is valuable to them. So it's finding that balance where both people are happy.
Yeah, but even more so, what you're saying is if the artist in you really wants to be liked or have their art liked, you could possibly have the tendency to give way more than you need to, or say yes to too many things, or essentially get walked all over, because
Yeah.
you're saying you're putting that need to have your art liked perhaps supersedes the business mentality you need to have.
Listen, it's people pleasing. Exactly. So
Right.
in the example, I hand over 10 photos. The people go, "Oh my goodness, like, I love these." I am like, "Good. Job done. And
Yep.
let's wrap this up. You pay me. We're good. You're happy. I feel good leaving that thing, that project." If I hand over 10 photos and they're like, this was not what I was expecting, there is a tendency for me to be like, well, here's a video I did also. Here's some drone extra work that I put in. Here's extra 10 photos. So now you have 20 for the same price that you. Now are you happy? Now are you happy? It's
Sure.
that kind of feeling of like, I want to get to that part where they're happy with my work, and I will sacrifice my time, the finances, what have you, to get to that point.
Yeah, that's a fine line. That's a bit of an art to figure out.
Yeah, it's tough.
How do I make sure that they're 100% satisfied, but that there's not the goalposts don't just keep moving and I get taken advantage of?
Mhm.
And I feel like if you cover the scope of work and you've even offered a revision or two, and they're still not happy, it may be them problem,
Yeah.
you know?
Yeah.
So
Yeah. There's a couple of different type of businesses, and I've run into this with playing out gigs music wise. And it's similar. Art, you're giving your art to a place to entertain people. They're trying to get people in to make money. So it's a similar sort of thing with photography. There's businesses that really aren't maybe in the position, or things are tight, that don't want to spend anything more than they have to. And those are tough to deal with sometimes, more than like an established business that has a budget, that understands what they're looking for, understands that you're coming in to do a certain job, and not expecting, because we're paying you to do this. It's the best in music when I call a restaurant or bar and they're like, yeah, you can play. How many people are you going to be bringing? Like, do you have a following? That's a
you're like,
huge,
I'm going to bring me, my guitarist, my singer, and my drummer.
huge red flag to me, because it's like, oh, you're really nervous about paying the money, and you want to make sure that we're bringing people that basically will front the bill.
Yeah.
So it's like, that one's a tough one.
You know what else is a red flag bonus is when you, maybe not always, but often, is can you break this down into line items for me?
Yeah.
I saw a funny meme where it was like, it's 2,000 for me to do the job and it's 0 for me to not do it.
Yeah. Yeah. That's
So,
what after that question, right? Can you break this down?
Yeah, exactly. Here's my line item: 0 to not do it, 2,000 to do it. Yeah, just be mindful of that, because
Mhm.
it demonstrates a very tight budget, which I understand, but it can be a tendency to like start doing some wrist scratching. Well, you delivered it like a day late, so
Yeah.
you know. Okay, moving on. How to be the worst photographer ever, business edition. All right. So the next thing you're going to really want to do if you want to accomplish this feat is you're going to want to make sure you charge extra for every single little thing. So what I'm saying is you got to make sure that your client fronts that $2 coffee bill, you know, or the extra $4 of Dropbox storage space you needed to deliver their files. You're going to make sure they see that $4 and that $2 line item on there, because it's important that, you know, you don't pay for anything.
Yeah. And make sure if you put in 300 for travel, you're calculating every mile and every gas.
Put your mileage.
Yeah, put your mileage and then adjust above. Here's the thing: never adjust down. Maybe the 300 travel was really cost you 220. Don't adjust down. Don't give them a discount on that. Make sure though that you do go up if it's over your budget by any amount. Make sure that you do go up and nickel and dime them for every single thing. If they ask for a re-edit and it took 15 minutes, make sure you charge hourly and put that in a nice invoice, and then charge for the creation of the invoice as well.
Your quantity of hours is 2.36 hours.
Yeah, because time is money, and we all know that. No, but I think in serious terms.
Let's keep riffing. You want your mileage to vary with gas prices, overnight prices, right?
Mhm.
So like when they get the invoice, it could be different from the following day.
Yeah, and you were hungry for your fourth meal and did DoorDash to the place. There is a huge fee. Make sure you put that in there. So yeah, just everything.
Okay, now we're done.
Yeah. You left your favorite shampoo in their shower. Charge them for that, because someone's going to be using it, I bet.
Oh, Airbnb. Yeah,
Airbnb or
that's right.
Wherever. That was where my mind went.
Or you're already paying a cleaning fee for the Airbnb, so just trash it, right?
Yeah. Don't worry about the trash, so that someone will take it, right? Yeah, I think within reason, be generous. You're getting paid for the job. To me, when you're doing something, you're agreeing that there will be costs, and hopefully your prices are right. I think that's more on you. Have the and it takes time, but the wherewithal to price correctly where you feel like you are covered. You feel like almost no matter what happens, I'm going to be okay with this end result. If this is what I hand over and this is what I get paid, I'll be good. You don't want to feel like you're getting just your foot in the door with a really cheap price and then you're getting pissed off that it's taking you a long time or the travel was far or, oh my, I put $200 worth of gas in.
Yeah. You want a cushion, like a miscellaneous category, right?
500. Like now I'm annoyed. And it's like, well, that's on you. That's bad math, So
yeah,
make sure your math's math.
Yeah, absolutely. And understand that just like some small things are the cost of doing business. Like you said, I think add a little comfort. If you think it's going to be this much, put a little buffer zone.
Yeah.
So you can go to Subway and not have to invoice for it.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean?
Doom.
I like it. All right. I have so many to choose from. I'm trying to give good variety.
Good variety.
Mm-hmm. Okay. How to be the worst photographer ever. Another point. So make sure that you understand that anyone who gives you constructive feedback or criticism is completely wrong.
Yeah.
Needs their head checked.
Yeah.
Has no taste.
Assholes.
It's just, yeah. And it's a personal attack.
Oh, they hate you.
They hate
your work. Your work is crap.
Yes. They're definitely not trying to make sure that they get what they paid for. They definitely don't have the right to do that. So,
no, yeah. With any critique, I would fire off a strongly worded email, letting them know how wrong they are.
Yeah, I just say, "What are you, stupid?"
Yeah, how inappropriate it is in this business to offer any sort of feedback, and I don't know what side.
Voice your offense. Yeah, voice your offense. I am offended.
What side of the bed they woke up on, but obviously they are not. They just chose violence today.
Dear client,
and they're coming after us
based on your recent email. Typing, it appears that you seem to have no artistic taste. You don't have any sense of what your business needs. I do. Idiot. Seth.
Yeah, how dare you?
I just sent that off.
Nice.
I didn't.
You tell him. No, it hurts when someone maybe says, I'm not pleased with this, or I'm not crazy about how this turned out. And you have to be like, and take a deep breath, take a walk, take a minute. Do not reply right away.
No, 24 hours at least.
Yeah, give it a minute.
If you're upset.
Yeah, give it a minute. Think about it. Try to really unpack the layers and see it for what it is. Now, at the end of the day, you might be like, I really don't agree. Like I really like this thing. However, they are the paying client. And I think I always default to, okay, they want to be satisfied with what they're getting. And if it's an artistic choice or a musical choice, I mean, there's nothing worse than you do a video and they like, I love it, but the music is, I'm not a fan of the music.
Oh, and everything's timed to the music?
Yeah. So it's like, well, basically we're starting over. So that's really annoying. But it's those things like you can't really argue that. It's like, all right, they're not a fan of the music. Like, what am I supposed to do? I gotta make this happen.
I've been lucky with that. I've run the gauntlet with that and haven't gotten burned.
Yeah, that's
I think
a
my
tough one.
No, my musical taste is just probably the best there is. I think
definitely. But yeah, I think take it. It's not a personal attack. There is a line here where, like we said earlier, there might be no pleasing someone, and that's a tough one. and you can get a sense of like, oh, they're trying to make an issue out of not a lot to either get a deal or get stuff for free. You got to be aware of that possibility, but there's just a good chance that you are putting an artistic spin on something for, again, business people or family and friends or portraits or a wedding or an Airbnb, and they're like, this doesn't fit our grid. This doesn't fit our style
Yep.
necessarily. Or you said there's going to be a lot of lifestyle photos, but there's not. Or the sky is really flat. Is there anything we can do with that? Can we do a sky replacement? There's a million different things that the client goes like, oh, we paid good money for this and I'm not 100% pleased. You got to just take it for what it is and see if you can make things better.
Yeah, here's the strange thing too. What bothers me sometimes is, and this hasn't happened a ton, but I've heard about this. I think maybe this has happened with you a couple times. Is somebody hires you to photograph a set or a product or whatever, and you deliver in your style, and they're like, "Oh, well, we want it more this way," and you think to yourself, "Well, you hired me for me, right? You're not hiring me to be like somebody else or to
Right.
be like your brand." But at the same time, sometimes obviously you don't want to turn that business away, right? Sometimes maybe you do have to try and maybe more so keep your style in a way that fits their aesthetic or what they want to remain in terms of a brand image, right? So I mean, a client I just wrapped up working for today, in their initial email to me or our discovery call or whatever it was, I really like this style of, I forget their actual words of smoke. It was like smokiness or surrealism or something. They were referring to a specific image. So the entire time throughout that project, I'm not going to be, I'm not going to try to be something different. I'm going to be me. I'm going to be that look that they said they liked from the beginning, right? I think that's just something to keep in mind.
Yeah. Again, like most things, this comes down to really good pre-shoot communication
Sure.
and having questionnaires, developing questionnaires, learning from mistakes, learning from trip ups, learning from landmines, and being able to mitigate those on your future endeavors, like being able to be like, oh, that one burned me last time, I'm going to make sure that doesn't happen. So I'm going to ask the question very directly, hey, this is my portfolio of X, Y, and Z. This is my style. Is this what you're looking for, or are you looking for something else?
Yeah, or what about my portfolio stands out to you? Is there anything particular you like,
Yeah,
right?
or
That I
asking them
can.
to storyboard, or what, give me examples of photos you like, or are competing
Yes.
company that you really like their aesthetic and their Instagram or whatever it is, and let
Yep.
me take a look.
Because
So
then you have a foundation to go back on if there's disagreement. Well,
right,
actually, you told me to do it this way, and I have,
right,
right? And it's for them as well in the same sense.
yeah,
Okay. The next thing I would do if I was trying to be one of the worst photographers ever, God, this sounds so harsh. It's okay though. I would make sure, and this is back to our over delivering thing. I would make sure that I delivered a ton of images. So maybe we talked about 15. I'm going to give them 50. Okay. I'm going to blow them away with 50. Now I only have probably like 10 really, really good ones. Or sorry, our contract was for 15. I have 15 really, really good ones. And the other 35, my math is right there, are going to be like, they're okay. They're mediocre, right? I'm going to give them all 50. And instead of just giving them those 15 really, really good ones that meets expectations, I'm going to give them all 50, blow them away, and I'm going to just totally dilute the quality of my folder so that those really good ones don't stand out anymore, and they kind of just maybe I just sync to the lowest quality image in that entire set. I'm going to make sure I do that.
Yeah, we suggest falling for the anxiety of, again, being liked. I think this is where this comes from. And 15 good ones, but I don't want them to say anything negative. So I'm going to give 50. And it just brings down the average of the photo. They get lost in the shuffle. This has happened to me
I know it has.
where I then I kind of just had to tease it out. I said, "Hey, well, I don't remember the exact numbers, but we'll use your numbers. Hey, we said 15 edited photos. I did hand in 50. You aren't 100% pleased, but let me tease out the ones that I love the most that I feel like you can use with the most benefit." And I made two separate folders, extras and top 15.
Mm.
And they wrote back, they're like, "Oh wow, I see what I see what you mean. Like those are great. That is what we asked for. Thanks for the extra." Like the tune completely switched compared
Yes.
to them all being in the same folder and kind of going through them. And there's certain photos that you sometimes want to include that, of course, they're not great in terms of like, wow, that's an amazing folder, but it might be a little detail piece of a place or a product
Yep.
or whatever it is that like you could use in a story, you could use at some point, you can use it in a carousel, but it's not like a hero shot. But then if you do have 15 really good shots to be able to separate those out and be like, look at these bangers because these are good. And this is what I intended to
Yes.
shoot. All the other stuff was extra. I think it
Yeah.
comes from like a nervousness to I want to blow them away, but sometimes by doing that, I shot myself in the foot that time. That was that. Like I'm gonna give them an extra 35, and then they were like, oh, these aren't that great. Thanks for
Yeah.
the extras.
Absolutely. I've been thinking about this. You know what? The perfect analogy. I already mentioned Subway in this episode. It's exactly like going and getting a Subway sandwich. Okay. I say that as the person ordering the sandwich, I want turkey and tomato and lettuce and cheese.
Mm-hmm.
So, person behind the counter goes, "Okay, we're going to give you turkey, lettuce, tomato, and cheese. And just to go a little bit above and beyond, we're going to give you pickles. We're going to give you shredded carrot. We're going to give you jalapeno peppers." And you're like, "Okay, well, all the things that I want are on the sandwich, but now it looks
Yeah.
gross."
Yeah, thanks, but no thanks.
Whereas your analogy is make the sandwich the way it's wanted. And hey, here's a baggie of extra stuff you can try.
Or
Should you
do
please?
you want a few extra toppings on me?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Exactly. Okay. So
Good one.
don't give a gross Subway sandwich to somebody. Give them what they asked for.
Yeah.
All right. Make sure that you only have verbal contracts. Or if you want to take it, if you want to, really step things up, just don't even have one at all.
Oh.
Yeah, just don't even bother. You should just trust everybody, and you should just realize that everybody's recollection of what was said and agreed upon is going to be the same, right? And
Yeah.
there's going to be no disputing it. There is definitely some absolute truth that lives in both parties' heads.
Yeah.
So just avoid having that written down of what's expected from both ends. You don't need to know what they agreed to pay you. They don't need to know what you agreed to give them. You just trust each other because that's what strangers do.
Yeah, I personally don't have time for contracts, so we just kind of both wing it, and based on a chain of sloppy emails over the last 8 months, we kind of figure it out as we go, and there's usually zero conflict or disagreements on price or deliverables. We just kind of, like I said, just go for it, wing it.
Yes, and you have no meetings. Don't things are busy. Don't schedule a meeting. Don't ask all those questions that you need to know.
Yeah.
That could mitigate a lot of problems or add some clarity to the scope of work. Because you're afraid of overwhelming them with questions. Don't have those meetings. They're a waste of time. Just be left to just be left to your own devices. Assume that you know what you need to shoot, and that the money will be in your account.
Yeah, I gotta say, in this day and age, which is pretty recent, with AI again, and I use Chat GPT occasionally. I had 2 emails back and forth from a client. My prompt to them was, I'm just curious, like, what vibe you really want me to share at your cabin. What are some things that are important to you? What's the story behind the cabin? Give me a sense of what you're looking for. And they wrote me two emails back with some great details and ideas and thoughts, and where the cabin's named after, or what the cabin's named after, and what its purpose was, and all this stuff. And I went to ChatGPT after having said, okay, these are the deliverables I think I can do for this price. I copied all 3 of those emails and my deliverables, and I said, hey, out of this, can you make a contract for a simple photography contract for an upcoming shoot? And it did an amazing job at spitting out deliverables, how many
Oh,
photos,
yeah.
and it was easy as pie. And then I emailed them and said, like, hey, here's a simple contract, just so we're on the same page before I make the long trip out there. Just you want to know that you guys are at least trying to be on the same page when you go into a shoot. And
Yes.
emails or one phone call and you're just kind of winging it again is just not the best idea. It works out sometimes, but not all the time. And you just want to be able to go back and be like, well, you're mad that I gave you 10, but you agreed that we said 10, you know?
Yeah. Yep.
So
I like that there was 0 transition between sarcasm and satire to actual helpful advice. I was sitting there waiting if there was going to be a punchline as you were describing your email thread.
no, I
Like,
just
you go
got
through this
into
whole
it.
thing and then you're like, yeah, I didn't email them back, or I didn't send them anything.
Yeah. And then I blocked them
Yes, and then I blocked them.
because I don't have time to talk about contracts.
Yes, that would have been great. But I'm happy that people are going to have to decipher what's
What's what?
irony and what's not.
Too dry. Maybe I'm too dry.
Oh, no, it's good.
Yeah.
In your Vince Vaughn era. All right. Moving on.
Moving on.
You're going to want to make sure, if you're still in an attempt to be a terrible photographer in a business sense, you're going to want to make sure that you blame every other factor other than yourself for poor performance, right? You're going to want to make sure that you let the client know that the model sucked. You were late because traffic was bad, not because you snoozed through 3 alarms. You're going to want to make sure you tell them that internet in Canada is bad. That's why you couldn't transfer their files on time. And what else are you going to want to do?
Yeah, just in general, it's never your fault.
Yes, that's entirely right. Never.
Just remember that and look for external things to blame. The weather, traffic, as you said, food poisoning, upset tummy, just everything under the sun that just alleviates you from any sort of responsibility.
That's right. You want your client to go home and be like, oh man, they had the worst day.
It's not your fault you forgot the batteries at home.
No.
You happened to be charging them. You were prepared. You just didn't put them in your bag because someone who won't be named moved the bag when they were vacuuming. So it's not your fault for being unprepared. It was just a unlucky sequence of events that just created this bad situation.
Yeah, I mean, if they hadn't booked the shoot so early in the morning, you maybe would have had more time to prep, and
the communication.
It's kind of their fault. Like, why did they book that?
Always their fault.
Why did they book that for 9 a.m.? That's pretty inconsiderate.
Yeah, and they could have asked. They could have communicated better with everything. So it's not you that wasn't communicating or asking questions that had missing links. It's on them.
Yeah, I mean, if I can email, they can email, right?
Exactly.
Yeah. I don't even think we need to do the counter.
No, you get it.
Have some accountability.
Yeah, own it.
Own it. Always.
That's easy to deal with.
Easy. I would much rather deal with somebody who was like, I screwed up.
Yeah, I
as
screwed
opposed
up, and this is how I'm going to try to fix it.
like, when have you ever been like, "Oh, okay, yeah, that makes sense. Yeah, yeah." I mean,
Right.
within reason, but
Yeah.
okay. Another one. What you're gonna wanna make sure you do is you're gonna overpromise on your timelines, amount of photos that, you're gonna deliver. So you're gonna say, I'm gonna have you 800 by, tomorrow morning, less than 24 hours." Okay? They're gonna go and check their email. There's not gonna be anything there. They're gonna check every day for 2 months, and then there's gonna be an email from you to a Dropbox folder or Google Drive, and there's gonna be 8 photos in it. And, they'll be really excited about that. So make sure that you really, really shoot for the moon and then just completely underdeliver. Don't by any means give reasonable timelines or reasonable amount of deliverables. Don't do that. Don't give people realistic expectations because you're afraid of upsetting them. You know, nobody
Yeah.
ever likes when you do exactly what you say you're going to do.
No.
So
That surprised them.
really disappoint people.
You got to keep them on your toes.
Yes.
That's the bottom line.
Make life exciting for people, right?
Yeah. Don't know yourself. Don't know that you've never, ever finished a project of editing within 1 week's time. So make sure you promise that you can deliver within it, just to secure it's about lying. It's about securing the job. Like, just say whatever you have to say to secure the job, and then ask questions later. Like that would be my advice. And being how to be the worst business photographer there is, just secure the job. Over promise how many deliverables you're going to get, how quickly it's going to be done, how easy it's going to be done, the resources that you don't need from them, and just make it happen. And slowly, one by one, start to untangle the mess that you're going to have when they come knocking and asking when things are due, or how many did we say we're going to do?
800.
Yeah. Well, we have 8. So
not even raw, it's like edited.
I'm curious where our wires crossed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So
yeah.
Be realistic. Give yourself more time. Over deliver from an under promise. My next gig is I'm planning on doing it. I think I can get it done within a day or two, but my deliverable is 3 to 4 weeks.
Sure.
Just to give myself space, and then they'll be very surprised, hopefully, in a good way. Like, oh, you're done within a week? Wow, awesome.
Yeah, that's still a significant amount of time where they're like, oh, it's some effort went into this, but it's early. You don't want to turn those around in a day. People be like, we paid 10 grand for these.
Yeah, right.
It only took you an evening?
Yeah, right.
Right? So that's a bit of that art. That's a bit of that dance again, right?
Yeah, that's a good point.
You promise 3 to 4 weeks and you do a week. Like, a week of work is still a substantial amount of time.
Yeah. Yeah.
For people to be pleasantly surprised.
Yes, sir.
All right. Next thing you're going to want to do if you want to contribute to being terrible business photographer, do one and dones. So you're always needing to find new clients. There's nothing more fun than having to find new business and saying to hell with you to repeat customers or relationships. Who needs them? I want new, fresh, potential dark horses that don't pay or are difficult to deal with. I'm not interested in long-term relationships. I'm more interested in volume and making life more difficult for myself. So I'm never going to find or ask or inquire about future projects with somebody I've already done work for, how we can take things to the next level, because that's just too rational for me.
Yeah. There's nothing more difficult and frustrating than having a repeat client. Like, they already know you. They already have your bank account where they can just transfer money. You already have a relationship with their accounting firm. Like, you know the relationship in terms of deliverables and quality of work. That stuff is boring.
Yeah.
get out there, burn bridges,
Introduce
demand
some
everything,
crazy.
do everything we said before this moment, and nickel and dime them. Don't over deliver, under deliver. Just over promise. Don't keep your timelines. Just keep finding and then start over. Just keep starting over, building
Repeat that
relationships.
process. Yes.
Yeah, repeat.
It
Rinse
will
and
go
repeat.
well.
Yeah. There's nothing beneficial to having a client that keeps giving you work, where you can just kind of chug along and collect a paycheck and have good relationships.
Yeah, don't include in
Boring.
emails that you're very much someone who is interested in fostering long-term relationships beyond your first project. Don't mention that. Tell them that you're very much somebody who just does one and dones. They will respond well to that. They'll be like, "Great, we want to find a new photographer as well for each project."
Yeah. And get comfortable. Don't stretch it. Don't give them new ideas of
coast. That's right.
Yeah, just coast until you guys kind of mutually ghost each other.
Sure.
Don't suggest, hey, I have a great idea for the holidays coming up with your product. Hey, I have this video idea. I have this series we could do. Any of this interest you? Don't keep pursuing it.
Don't be ridiculous. They might say no.
Yeah, I mean, you already have a contact. You already have an email. You already have someone that you have their ear. Like, why would you utilize that? I would much rather try that with 10,000 strangers and see if one replies. It's more exciting. Definitely more exciting.
Oh, you make it hard to keep. You make it hard to keep character. Yeah. It'd be fun to make a video series like that.
Yeah.
That's great, though. Yeah. Do everything the opposite of that, of course.
Of course.
Of course.
Repeat business is wonderful.
It is.
Big fan of it.
It is. There's nothing better. Like, hold on to that like you would your puppy.
Yeah.
Pet it. Make sure it's got water. And
yeah, if they're into it, oh, man.
Don't neglect, right?
Keep going.
Because that mutual ghosting thing, I feel, is right. If nothing exciting is happening, you just kind of fizzle into the ether, both of you. Right? You're supposed to be the creative person often. I know you're not necessarily the creative director, the art director, but a lot of the times, especially small businesses, they don't have an in-house or an in-house or external agency dealing with that stuff. There's trust in you to present ideas, and it's up to them to say yes or no, right?
Yeah, just because it feels like the beginning of like a relationship or dating situation where you're like, I'm gonna wait for them to text today. Like I think be the one with initiative in those relationships. You're the creative one. They might not reach out. They might just leave it on crickets or leave it on red. You did the job. They're not thinking about that. They're thinking about 1,000 other things. But if you reach out and you're like, hey, the first job was good. It was a success. We got off without a hitch. Here we are. I have this idea. I have a little extra time. Are you interested in this idea? And they're like, oh, wow, that's cool. Yeah, definitely. And then it's like, great. Now we have a second date because I reached out. If I didn't reach out, they might have thought I don't want to work, or I'm too busy to do other things, or they're just not even thinking about it. They're thinking about their own thing. So I think it's important as the creative person, as the person that's creating marketing or their photography or their video, to be like, hey, let's keep this going. And I think that's on you.
Sure. All right, last one for the day from the business side. So, my Instagram's fire, probably top 0.01%.
Definitely.
Of anybody out there in terms of quality. Same with my website. It's just beautifully designed. I'm essentially God's gift to the creative world.
You have that tattooed.
Yeah, across my back.
God's gift
to the creative world. Yeah. So, I mean, I'm really talented. I have a great portfolio. I know what I'm doing. So what I like to do because of all of this, I like to kind of kick my feet up
Mhm.
and just, I have the expectation everyone's going to come to me. So I don't ever need to pitch myself to anybody. I don't ever need to pitch creative ideas to existing or new clients. People are going to come to me because, let's face it, I'm one of the greatest there is.
Yeah.
And people will just, in the sea of photographers and videographers, people will just be like, "Oh my God, we need Seth Macy. Here's a blank check. We're gonna find him, and he's just gonna have so many projects if he's even available, right?"
Yeah,
So
man.
because of all these things, I don't even bother pitching myself to anybody. They'll all come to me. I don't need to reach out. It makes no sense to do that. So.
No, yeah. I if I were you, I would definitely just sit back, relax. You are doing all that you can possibly do by having an Instagram. That's enough. These companies aren't getting 200 emails a day asking if people can do photography and marketing for them. That they
No,
have
they're
to sift
begging
through.
for people.
Yeah, so they're constantly searching and going through random Instagrams and finding random people to say, "Hey, would you be a huge integral part of our team? We found you. It must be kismet. It must be a soulmate situation. Maybe you are my twin flame. I am not sure whatever you want to call it, but the universe brought me to your page, and I want to make this relationship whole. Would you like to come out to dinner and have a discussion about how we can onboard you to our creative team for $120,000 a year, starting with a $70,000 starting signing bonus?" That happened. Seth, how many times does that happen to you on like a daily? Because for me, it's like 4 or 5 times that I have to turn down these
Oh man,
companies.
I'm gonna hire somebody to start saying no.
Yeah, no, thank you. No,
Yeah,
thank you.
no, thank you. I'm dying
I'm
because I couldn't. I
I'm
couldn't keep
busy.
it. I couldn't keep it together when you said kismet.
Kismet. It's kismet that you found my page. And I feel like we should be working together for the rest of eternity.
What is kismet? I'm crying.
Kismet?
Yeah, what is that?
Let's look it up.
It sounds like the name of a Muppet.
Kismet. Kismet can refer to the common English word for fate or destiny. It can refer to an indie pop duo called Kismet
Oh
from
man,
Los Angeles, formed by Carly Barnett and Sebastian Runart. Let's tag them.
definitely not that. Oh
Kismet
man.
means a hypothetical force that determines the future or fate and destiny. So I used it correctly.
I'm sure you did. I'm not
Yeah.
doubting that. That's fantastic, though. It was kind of just a word that,
Made you laugh.
yeah, I was just like, what is, of course you would use the word kismet perfectly in a bit. And it was just so unexpected
A
that
Kismet.
there's just something, I mean, some people are like, that's not funny at all. There's just some things that get me, man. I just every 3 months, there's something that I see on my phone or a meme or something, or somebody says something that just, I cry laughing
Yeah.
and I can't stop. It's almost like a release of energy.
I like it.
I saw people, like, some people don't think this is funny. Some people think I'm an idiot for thinking this is funny, but I know we're off topic, but just, I'll share a part of my life. There was a medical page on Instagram. Have I told you this story? Maybe. It was showing an MRI of somebody who I guess was like 600 pounds.
Mm-hmm.
And it was trying to show how incredible the human skeleton is. Like the human skeleton is the same size regardless of like how heavy you are.
Yeah.
So it's this really huge person, like 600 pounds, and there's a normal skeleton. And it's just supposed to be an incredible marvel of the human body.
Mm-hmm.
And the top comment was, imagine being so hungry you ate a skeleton. And I don't know what it is. I just cried
That's amazing.
laughing.
That's funny. Yeah, some
Anyways,
things get you.
some things get you. My humor's weird. This was How to Be the Worst Photographer Ever, Business Edition. Next week, we will do Artistically, and we'll try and keep the same level of character and irony. That was fun, man. Until next time, I had a lot of fun.
Have a good one.
See ya.
Bye.